Hello, hello, hello! Today, I got a box in the mail. You think Mazda made a good intro? Mm-hmm. So a subscriber of mine actually sent this to me. He bought it for me and he said, hey man, you got mail coming. So this is purchased by a subscriber of mine and he just mailed it to my house, and let's see what's in the box.
I feel like Mazda's more excited than you.
I know. This is a brand new intake manifold for my EK hatch. This is one of the Rev 9 intake manifolds. It's like a Skunk 2 copy, I think, or the Skunk 2 Pro Series. It's literally identical, and they're only like 110 bucks or something. So I was actually going to buy one of these, but he reached out to me and said, hey man, I'd love to contribute to the build, and I can't thank you enough, bro. Let's take a look at this thing. Damn, snazzy. I had to customize the intake just a little bit. I wish I had black mint stickers, because I think a black one on here would look way cooler. But this one still looks pretty cool. Mint! Alright, so I'm out in the garage now, and I actually already ripped off the old intake manifold off of the motor. And since I didn't really have it on here too long, the gasket came right off, and it ripped when I took it off. So I said screw it, and I went to AutoZone and I warrantied it out because I just bought it like a couple months ago, and they have like a year warranty, so why would I pay for one when I can just warranty out the old one? But anyways, this is the old intake manifold and fuel rail and throttle body, and I'm going to be throwing it all onto this guy here. So I think I'm just going to bolt the manifold on first, and then we'll do like each individual piece, like the fuel rail and then manifold and whatnot. I also wanted to kind of show you guys the decapped injectors and how they fit and whatnot, because you on a B series, at least, like with a stock intake manifold, you're gonna have to space up the rail a little bit because they're a little bit taller. I just used a couple washers on this one, and yeah, so I'm gonna actually, I think I'm gonna bolt the fuel rail on first. So I think I'm gonna take the fuel rail off of here and then bolt it onto this guy before we throw it all on. Alright guys, so I figured I'd show you quick putting the decapped flex fuel style injectors into your B series, and I kind of just wanted to show you how I do it, and if anybody had purchased these injectors from me from HunterTuned.com, if you guys are interested, you can buy a set of these from me. So this is a factory flex style injector right here, and you can see on the top it has a very thick O-ring, and that thick O-ring will not fit into like a Honda fuel rail. So I always just give them to people without O-rings, and I say that you kind of just need to figure out an O-ring solution. What I usually do, and it works really good, is I just take 2 factory top O-rings off of a Civic injector. So like this is a factory Honda Civic injector right here, and they come with like a thinner O-ring on the top right here. This one doesn't have one installed, but I just take, like, if you got a bunch of these laying around, you can just take the top O-ring, and you can take 2 of them, so one off of 2 injectors, and put 2 of them in this spot here because there's a thicker gap here for the O-ring. And you can use the stock Civic injector O-rings, or you can go to like Fleet Farm or a hardware store and you can get this metric O-ring kit. This is the part number for this O-ring kit here. These O-rings work good too. They come with like pretty much the factory Civic style O-ring in here. I believe they're these ones or these ones. I think they're these guys right here. So you can just toss 2 of those on the top, and you'll come up with something like this. These ones are already been installed, obviously, and they've been working fine. And I've done this on a bunch of cars, and it works really good. It may not be the best way to do it, but this is like the only solution I have currently for these injectors. Unless I may actually look into getting top hats for them. But for the flex style, since they're already the same length as the factory injector, you would really have to space the fuel rail up a lot. So I don't really necessarily want to do that. I feel like it works just fine like this, and there's really no need to change. But on the other hand, if you have the regular truck injectors, like the normal truck injectors or whatever that are on my website, they're actually a lot shorter than this. They're, I would say, probably like 2 centimeters shorter. So in order to make those work, you either have to grind down the intake manifold right here, which I did on my CRX. And I just ground down the intake a little bit, like here, here, and here. And that worked out frickin' mint. You don't have to take much material off, just a little bit, and then it'll literally just plop right on, and you're good to go. But for these ones, on like a single cam or even like a B series, they pretty much plug right in for the most part, other than taking and spacing the rail just a little bit. On a single cam, the normal truck injectors actually work the best because they have perfect amount of spacing if you just remove the factory spacer that's under the fuel rail on like a Z6 intake manifold. If you take that spacer out, the normal style truck injectors work really good. So yeah, I'm just going to plop these guys back in. And for the bottom O-ring, this is like the factory injector grommet on the bottom of the intake manifold. This guy fits pretty decent right under the injector here. This just goes on just like so, and the injector seals perfectly, actually. It's a little bit loose fit on like the normal style truck injectors, but these ones actually crunch down pretty good, and they seal up just fine. Alright, so I just got the injectors installed into my new manifold, and I kind of polished up the fuel rail a little bit too. Makes it look real nice. But I got them installed. Unfortunately, on this manifold, I've said in a couple videos in the past on doing this, sometimes the fuel rail and injectors plop right in. Sometimes you have to modify the height of the fuel rail to get them to work. This manifold over here, the injector spacing was too high, so I had to space the fuel rail with some washers to get these injectors to fit right. On this manifold, on the other hand, I actually had to grind down the mating surface of the manifold where the flywheel sits to actually get them to bolt down. It all depends on your specific application, but I mean, as you can see, they do fit good once you modify it a little bit. They're not too tight, they're actually just perfect. They spin still, but they don't move up and down. You obviously don't want them to move up and down because then they'll leak, but they do still spin freely. Yeah, so I'm going to get to throwing this manifold onto the car now, and we'll see how this thing looks when it's on the car. Alright, so I got the intake manifold on, and everything is looking frickin' mint. The only issues that I ran into so far were the coolant hoses on this intake manifold are a little bit different. So like the ones that go to the throttle body or your fast idle valve are in a different spot on this manifold, and the hoses were a little bit loose, so I had to get some hose clamps to tidy all that up. And I got rid of the ghetto blue hoses here, and I got some good black coolant hose here with some new clamps, and I had to get a new clamp for the heater hose here too because that clamp wasn't tight enough to seal that hose. So I got that done, got my throttle body onto it, and a normal idle air control valve. I had to adapt this vacuum line. That way we have straight vacuum instead of teeing. We have a straight vacuum off the intake to the blow off, and then we have a straight to the fuel pressure regulator, and then we have a straight one going right to the boost gauge. So there's no teeing involved anywhere on this setup, which is how I like to run them. And then obviously the wastegate is just off the intercooler pipe down there. But yeah, so I just got to zip tie some of this stuff up. My feed line here and my wideband wire so they don't get ate up in the timing belt. And then I got to figure out my throttle cable bracket because this throttle cable is really freaking long, as you can see. Eric Orange actually sent me a Y8 throttle cable, but I've been kind of lazy to put it in, so I actually might now, because I have to redo my throttle cable bracket anyways, because the throttle cable bracket on this manifold is just a little bit different. It would bolt on and everything would work normal, but the intake air temperature sensor is in a different spot on this manifold specifically. So when you put the throttle cable bracket on, the throttle cable would literally run right into the intake air temp sensor. So I'm gonna have to like cut this bracket and reposition where this where the cable goes in. I'm probably just gonna cut it and then move it over a little bit and then weld it. So hopefully that'll work. And yeah, we'll see how that is. And I'm probably gonna throw the throttle cable in from Eric Orange because he sent me, like I said, look at how long this fucking throttle cable is. Super long. So I think I'm going to go get the Y8 throttle cable, and I'm going to chuck that thing in too. Hopefully he'll be happy. He's been bugging me to throw it in, and I just haven't because I've just been lazy, and this Y7 works. But I think since I'm in the spirit of cleaning up this frickin' engine bay, I mean, look at this frickin' manifold, guys. It looks so much better than the frickin' piece of junk thing down there. Yeah, I'm super stoked with how this looks. So yeah, I'm going to get to the throttle cable here. We'll put the throttle cable in and pick up. Alright, what up guys? It is the next day, and here I am in the garage, and I've literally spent 6 to 8 hours, like solid work hours. Not like, oh, I worked 8 hours, but I really took like 100,000 breaks, like most 8-hour workers. But anyways, I've been cleaning my fucking garage all day. My garage needed a serious clean, and I kind of get lazy, and when I'm working on shit all the time, the last thing I want to do is clean the garage. But I got a lot of stuff cleaned in my garage. I mean, you can see now, it's looking very nice. There's not shit everywhere. I mean, I used to have like just random shit in the corner, and a bunch of shit in this drawer, but I got like random stuff up here from Honda stuff that I just threw in this tote. And this generator is like a backup generator that we have, and it needs work, and it's been sitting here, but I have no idea where the fuck I'm gonna put it. But down here I got like my random Honda bolts, all my ECUs that I'm wrenching on. I got AN fittings, couplers, clamps, all that stuff there. You guys don't even want to see the attic. It's bad. My attic is literally full of like transmissions and fucking anything you can think of. I probably have it in my garage, or my attic I should say. But I mean, I got all my like air tools hung up here, and my whole area over here was like super cluttered, and I don't know if you guys seen it in the videos, but you couldn't walk over here. It was super bad. The steps were full of shit. This whole bench was cluttered to the point where you couldn't even put something down on it because it was just so full of shit. I still got to figure out what I'm going to do with all my oil jugs, but I go through a lot of oil, guys, and like a 5-quart pan like that, well, you know, it gets filled up, and then I got to go fill a bucket, and I have like 15 buckets of oil behind the garage, and then I have like a big 25-gallon drum full. No, it's like a 100-gallon drum of oil. That's full. I got 2 of those full. I have so much shit, guys. I gotta get a shop for real, because this is getting ridiculous, because I have nowhere to put all my stuff, and still have like a clean work area, if you know what I mean. I got this welder. My grandpa gave me this welder. I tucked this over in the corner here. My air hose. I still got like a random bin of parts over here. If anybody needs some of this shit, let me know. I got like GSR pistons and rods. I think these are just GSR. I got a good D series clutch. I got a couple B series clutches upstairs. Cable clutches. You name it. I got LS motor over here, B18. I have this trans brake valve body for a TH400. This isn't a trans brake valve body. This is a shift kit valve body. This is like a trans go shift kit valve body. If anybody wants one of these, let me know. I got a bunch of stuff, so yeah. Anyways, I got my injector tester over here, kind of set away next to my fridge. And then I got some tools up here, my creeper. And I went through all my fucking toolboxes, because I got 3 of them here. And I still got a bunch of random shit that I have no idea what I'm going to do with. I got a hydro e-brake. Probably keep that for something. I got, whatever, random shit. Like I said, I emptied all these toolboxes here. And this is what I'm dealing with now. This tote is big. I mean, literally, guys, I can't even move it. It's so heavy. Yeah, that thing is like 5,000 pounds now, because it's full of every single tool I have. I'm very disorganized, and I need to start being more organized, I think, if I want to be like more fluent, or not fluent, more like efficient, I should say. I want to be more efficient working. So next, I'm just going to go through all these frickin' tools and get them all put away in my toolboxes, because, you know, like I said, every single one of these drawers is completely empty because they were just scattered random tools everywhere. Like, I mean, I would have like a piston ring compressor next to a fucking ratchet, or, you know, a piece of, you know, some fucking wiring, or, I mean, I got ratchets and just a bunch of junk, guys. Honestly, I have so many tools that are pieces of shit and junk. I should just throw all this shit out, but I gotta have some tools, if you know what I mean. Like, look at this. This looks like a ridge reamer or something. I got a drill. I mean, I have so many like duplicate wrenches and duplicate sockets. Like, I probably have like 15 or 20 9/16 wrenches and like 15 or 20 fucking, you know, 5/8 wrenches, which I never use. And I have like 20 of them. So why the fuck do I need 20 of them? I don't know. I gotta go through a lot of this stuff, guys. The car's running good. I'm gonna pick up tomorrow in a video on that probably. I'm just gonna throw this one out for you guys. Show you that we got the new intake manifold and everything like that. But car's kind of down right now because the wideband sensor went out when I was tuning it last night. I don't know why it went out. Probably because I had a bunch of issues with the distributor and probably caked the sensor full of fuel or whatever. But anyways, I'm just gonna continue cleaning. As you can see, the garage is looking way better now, guys. I'm super happy with how this is looking. Yeah, so I'm just gonna continue cleaning. I gotta get this pile of literal garbage out of here. I'm just gonna have to dustpan it into a big bag. But some guy actually asked me, he's like, hey, you should do a garage cleaning video. So here you go. I'm cleaning my garage. I'm not gonna like time lapse it, because the time lapse would be 8 hours and I wouldn't have that much fucking room on my computer. But yeah, so whatever. Hopefully I'll get some more tools in the future too, because like I said, these freaking tools suck. I mean, some of them are decent, but I have like 15 busted ratchets. And if you guys seen the tools I use and the shit I still get done, you shouldn't have an excuse, is what I'm trying to get at here. A lot of people have like brand new tools, super nice tools, whatever, and they still don't do anything. I'm not saying that's you, I'm just saying like some people out there are like that, where they have like brand new snap-on toolbox, brand new fucking everything snap-on, and they're worried about, you know, their fucking 5.3 that they should just throw in, if you know what I mean. They're worried about it because they think it's gonna blow up or whatever. I don't know where the fuck I'm going with this. But anyways, thanks for watching, and like this video, subscribe, and see you tomorrow. Have a good one.